Hello everyone, my name is Benjamin and welcome back to BlabenSolutions. So in today's video tutorial, we will be looking at how to create a food vending flyer for a client. And this video is coming up shortly. But before we kickstart this video, let me take this opportunity to say a very big thanks to you for clicking this video. If this is your first time of seeing or being on the channel, this is BlabenSolutions and we are into the production of graphic design video tutorials. So if you think videos of such nature will be of great benefit to you, then I encourage you to hit on the subscribe button and consider becoming a part of this lovely family. So if you're already a part of this team, thank you so much for showing up once again. Without any further ado, let's quickly jump right into the video and let's begin. Alright, so in front of you are the resource files that I'll be using. So I'm going to be excluding this guy in here because I'm not the author of this image. Well, I'm not the author of all the other images out as well, but these images were downloaded from Google. So I'm going to make provisions for them. I'm going to leave a link in the description below so you can have access to use these other images. But with this image, I'm going to drop the link in the description below for you to download it, so you can give or make reference to the author, and give a shout out to the author. All right, so quickly back to Photoshop. This is the text file that we will actually be using. So the name of the food vending service, the menu, the contact details, and I think the location, and that is all. So the rest is going to be images that you can put. All right, so back into our Photoshop. So first of all, in here, let's name this food vending. Then I'm actually going to be doing this in let me say, how should I put it, feet. So we actually going to print this. So with the measurement that I did, it was 5 by 3 feet. So the width was 5 and the height was 3. So you would realize that we don't have the measurement of feet in here. So to get things clearer, you can visit Google and type the conversion of inches into feet, so you can be able to do the feet conversion in here. The conversion is where 12 inches is equal to 1 feet. All right, so one amazing thing is that when you type in you can type in the what do you call it, the operation sign, and it will automatically take effect in here for you. So we are doing 5, that's 5 feet, so that is times 12, and that should give us 60, right? So, and 3 times 12 should give us 36. So that is it. All right, so with the resolution, it is always recommended that whenever you want to print, the resolution should be high, but you should also bear in mind that anytime your resolution is high, your image size also becomes higher. Okay, so the higher the resolution, the higher the image size. So in here, I would choose to reduce the resolutions to 100. That does not mean that the quality would reduce. No, it will still be there intact for me, right? So with my color mode, I'm going to be using CMYK since it's going to be printed, and I think everything is looking good in here. So let's just click on, there you go. This is what we have in here, guys. Great. So first of all, what I'm going to be working on is the background of my image. So in here, I'm just going to be adding a solid background by coming to the create layer, create fill layer or adjustment something, and and let's add a solid background fill. And I need something darker. Well, the type of color that you choose should have a correlation with what kind of image you are trying to create. Okay, so this image is actually a food vending flyer, and well, I don't think pink will work in here, like So just try to choose a color that will work. So I'm going to be using a color like this, so something of this sort, and let's hit OK. So the next thing is to create a new layer on top of this layer, and with my brush tool selected, the shortcut key for the brush is P. So I'm going to increase the size of the brush tool a bit. Alright, and I'm going to be selecting something lighter in here. Alright, so I think this should work, and let's just click in here to have our background. Well, if it looks way too big, we can undo this and try to reduce the size of it, and maybe we can click in here, and this should look good. This should look good. So we can actually choose to reduce the opacity of it, since it brights a lot, so by reducing the opacity, come in here and let's draw down the opacity to something nice. Okay, so that is it for the background, but I will be adding another an image to this background. So let me quickly go to the resource file that we have in here, and I'm going to drag this guy over here. Alright, so let's place this guy in here this way, and let's hit enter if that is okay by you. So mind you, you are the designer, okay? So any style that works fine with you, it's cool, right? Good. So what I'm actually going to do is to add a vector mask in here to this layer, and then I'm going to be cleaning a portion of this image. So with my brush tool selected, well, I have a video on how to use the vector mask. So the link should be up here, anywhere up here. So if you don't get anything in here, just don't worry, the link will be provided. Make sure to watch the video of that and come back, and you'll be good to working with this. So back to our video. I'm going to be wiping some portions off of this image. Well, I think my brush tool is too big. So what I'm going to do is to select or click on the move tool and reduce the opacity of this image to something lesser. So I think this should work. Then I'm going to be dragging this image a bit farther away. Alright, so that is it for the background creation. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing here is to work on the shapes, right? So with my my rectangle tool selected, I'm going to be creating a shape of this sort. It's actually going to be 3 shapes, then I'll be doing some warp and stuffs to it, to get the shape that I actually want. So let me select the move tool. So with this shape, I'm going to be duplicating this shape into three different parts. So hold your Alt key and click and drag this guy. So with all these 3 shapes selected, Control T, let's use it. Alright, then we can actually place these guys over here. Then starting with the first shape, we can Control T, right click on it, and let's choose either distort or skew, but let's choose distort, so we can hold the beneath here and drag this guy over here. Right, good. So that is it. So if we are done, let's hit enter, and that is it. So let's go to the next shape. Control T, right click, and let's distort this guy as well. So I'm going to do something to match the the diagonal edges of the first shape that we did. So it should just match, Yeah. So enter. Let's do the same thing to the third shape. Control T, right click, and distort. So with these 3 shapes selected, back again, Control T, let me drag these guys up. We can choose to reduce the size of the shape, that is making it small, big, like any style that you think you want it to be. then we can actually place this guy here. All right, so anything that actually works for you is cool. All right, good. So with my first shape, I'm going to be clip masking the image of some food to it. So let's head on to this, guys, and let me first of all bring the first image, then place this guy on top of this. So reducing the size will be appropriate. So let's clip mask this to this guy over here by right clicking the layer and choose create clipping mask. So Control T, and let's resize this image to fit, or let's say so that we can have a nice view of the food that we have in here. Right, good. This looks nice. Hit enter, and let's do that for the next set of shapes that we have in here. So I'm going to fast forward this by bringing onto this shape the other images that we have. All right, so see you soon. Then the next thing I'm actually going to be doing here is to create another what do you call it, shapes. That this one are round shapes, also ellipse 2. Then I'm going to be placing them on top of these guys as well, so 3 of them. Alright, so welcome back, guys. So now the next thing we're going to do is to group the circle, the clipping marks of these circles as well. So select your first layer, hold on to the shift key and select the last. So Control G to group this, guys, and let's say second food. Alright, so that is it for the shape clipping marks of the images onto the shapes that we got. But I would want to do some small edit adjustments in here. So you realize in here it looks kind of straight. It should blend with the background, right? Good. So I'm with the first food group, I'm going to be adding a vector mask to it. Hold my brush tool and let's decrease the size. And well, I'm going to be brushing some portion off, right? Good. So something, you know, so I noticed it's actually affecting this guy as well, but we don't need this guy in here, so let's take this guy off, right? Good. So we have this nice looking. Good. All right, so that is it for the shapes and clipping marks of the image onto the shapes. Now the next thing we're going to do is to type the name of the food vending service and create a platform for the, what do you call it, the menu items, right? Good. So let me start by bringing onto our, what do you call it, all right, so the name of the food is Adom Nyame food vending. So let me quickly bring both everything in. Then with my type 2 selected, I'm going to be pasting this guy over here. So paste. I'm going to be copying this guy, as in cutting that guy off. And with the Adom Nyame, so let me paste food service back. So with the Adom Nyame, I'm going to be using a font by name Kenyan. Let me see if I have the Kenyan something in here. Kenyan coffee, right? Then there should be regular font. I'm not gonna, so then maybe we can increase the size of Adom Nyame, right? But this should be in all caps. Then we are going to make this, the color should be white, right? Good. So Control T to increase the size of this text. So, well, the size is up to you, okay? Anything that works good for you is cool, right? So I think this works good. Let's hit enter, and we can be placing this guy over here. Well, and with the food vending, I'm going to be placing the food vending beneath it this way, and I'm going to be choosing a color. Any color that works good would go. So let me choose the yellow from the pair. Okay, I think the yellow, this yellow works fine. So let's click on OK, and click on OK. All right, so that is the name of the. Now let's work on the menu. So I would prefer going with the rounded rectangle, and I'm going to be creating something like this, something huge. Yeah, something like this shape, a bigger shape. Then I'm going to be filling this with a white background color. Then I'm going to be what do you call it, the radius, as in the edges. I'm going to make the edges round a bit round. All right, so I think this looks nice, but I would want the height to appear. Okay, so I think this is okay. Then maybe I can, you know, make some twists and turns onto this shape. What I'm going to be doing is to duplicate this shape actually. Control J, turning the fill of this off. Good. Then I'm going to be adding a stroke to this. A stroke of color, the same color as the pair, with the pair yellow. But the size should be, we can't see it because this layer is down in here. So let's Control T and let's increase the size above level, and well, voila, there you go. We have this nice looking shape. So basically, well, that was what I'd wanted to do, you know. Control T, we can choose to either increase or decrease based on how you want things to be done. So well, everything is up to you, you know. So now that we have a platform where we can list down our menu items, what I'm going to do is to head on to my resource file and bring in my chef in here, right? Okay, so this is actually a PNG image. Okay, and yeah, PNG, it's not actually a PNG image. So I'm going to, well, since it has a background of this, I'm going to delete it and I'm going to bring it back again. So I take off the background color, color. So I'm going to drop it anywhere in here, not onto the working space, but anywhere in here. Then it creates its own working space. Good. So let's hold and drag this guy back onto our working. Then I can put this guy on top of our menu item that we created in here. So I think this looks nice. Well, the next thing I'm going to do is to bring in the drinks. Well, my client sells drinks as well, so the drink image is already in PNG format. So just hold this guy and we are going to drop this guy in here. So you know, pushing this guy in here makes it looks fun and great. So if it looks way too big, we can reduce the size by holding our shift key, and you know, something that works well or looks nice for us. So we can actually drop this guy in here, and perfect, it looks nice, right? Good. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing is to come back in here and bring my what do you call it, a rectangle tool. Then I'm going to draw a shape like this. I'm going to be adding a color of this sort. Well, that is not actually the color that I wanted. I wanted this color. I want this color, the color from the background of the, what do you call it, the chef. So back to the property, and I'm going to put this guy out in here. Then with the color selected, double tap in here, and I'm going to just select the color, use the color picker to select that, and you know, we have this looking nice for us. So let's quickly bring this guy back into this place, then to be typing the what do you call it, menu that we have. All right, so guys, you are welcome back. So that is it. I've made a bulleted point, but just beside the list of menu items that we have in here. So finally, or let me say, well, not finally done with anything, but what I'm going to do next is to bring what do you call it, my contact details and the location. So those guys will be placed in here. But before we finish that, before we begin with that, let me finalize everything in here by grouping these guys. So with my menu, so list item menu, then so shift key and Ctrl G. So let's be sure we did that. All right, so well, I actually don't want these guys to be in it. All right, so I'm going to name this menu items menu. Okay, so let's say menu. Good. Then I'm going to reduce the size of this a bit. Yeah, reduce the size of this a bit, and you know, this should look nice in here. Then so that is it for the menu list. And that is it for the contact us. And the last thing to do is to work on the location. Okay, so with my what do you call it, rectangle tool, I'm just going to draw a shape with a white background, right? Well, with a white fill, I mean. Then all right guys, so we are back. Thank you for staying, and this is the final look of our design. I guess we are done. Am I guessing? So thank you so much for sticking around right from the beginning of this video, and please do well to give this video a thumbs up by liking it, and also please do well to subscribe if you have not subscribed yet to the channel. Please do well to leave your comment in the comment box as well. And having nothing to say again, you know, thank you so much, and see you in my next video.